My main objective with Sirens was to learn as much as possible. I wanted to ask all the questions I wanted to ask, I wanted to make as many mistakes as possible, and I wanted to actually grow as a director, and I feel like the best way that I did that was learning to be accepting of feedback. Without viewing my work outside of my own perspective, I can only create at a certain caliber. But if I'm able to take my insecurities, put them aside, and accept feedback, my ability to create continues to grow. And so during editing process, I instrumentally used all of the people at my disposal. When the film finally began to take shape, I sent it out to 5 confidants, one of them being Amy Tiang, who's a part of the finished script program the year before me. I took all of their feedback, used what was valuable to me, and made a new draft. From there, I sent it to my contacts at Ghetto Film School and Dolby. And finally, I had a draft just before Picture Lock that I sent to Carlos Lopez Estrada, who was the mentor of the program and gave me instrumental feedback in the final hour of my project. When all was said and done, I had 12 sets of eyes on my project other than my own, which even just saying that sounds crazy because I remember being 18 years old and deciding not to go to college, in large part because I didn't think I could handle peer critiques in art school. And I remember years later, I was still super put out by people giving their input, whether it be clients or other artists or even friends. I was very protective of what I was working on, and rightfully so. It's my art. I have a right to be protective of my baby I'm creating. But what I've come to learn is my art can only be as good as the voice of influence, and if it's just one, I hit my threshold. As an artist, one of my strengths is creative problem solving, but as someone in isolation, I might not see all the problems I need to creatively solve. And for me, I had some wonderful notes that I took. I remember Amy Tiang saying something like, "Hey, I think you're force-feeding the audience right here, and I would just pull this piece of ADR." And I pulled it and I was like, that's so much better. And I remember Kennedy being like, there's a piece at the end of the film where Maid is talking and I don't care what she has to say. I want to focus on what Whitney has to say. And by taking out that piece of dialogue, it made this just finale stand out. And it was these things that were really crucial, but to me, I was looking at the entire scope of things and I was missing these tiny details. And I'm not trying to say that you should listen to everything everyone tells you. It's very important that you cherry pick what works for you and what doesn't. Looking back at the entire process of Sirens, as the editor, I made something that was watchable. But having the input of 12 people who were willing to be brutally honest with me, I made something that I'm genuinely proud of.